Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're finally fully recovered and ready to watch Sitaux playing as the red Bohemians take on mYi.Sitaux playing as the blue Ethiopians. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the respective civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Bohemians are a civ that pushes its players towards gunpowder units by making the chemistry upgrade and hand cannoneers available in Castle Age and having access to an upgrade that actually increases the speed of all gunpowder units. Now, the Bohemians are not just a one-trick hand cannoneer pony. They also have two very powerful, unique gunpowder units at their disposal. The first is the Hussite Wagon, an incredibly tanky, powerful siege unit that sometimes is referred to as the mobile wall because it actually protects units behind it from enemy projectiles by cutting the damage of those projectiles in half. Now, the second gunpowder unique unit of the Bohemians is the Haufnitze or Howitzer. This is an upgraded version of the bombard cannon with more HP, better armor, higher damage, wider blast radius, and a massive 250 attack bonus against buildings. Now remember, the upgrade cost to go from bombard cannon to Haufnitze is quite expensive, basically as much as it costs to go up to Imperial. Now, to provide backup for these expensive gunpowder units on the field of battle, the Bohemians have a few interesting bonuses at their disposal. First, their spearman line units deal 25% extra bonus damage, and you can actually evolve your entire monk line by researching an upgrade that replaces the gold cost of monks and monk upgrades with food, which basically turns Bohemian monks into trash units. Now, as every player knows, gunpowder units are very expensive, so to help pay for them, universities and blacksmiths cost less wood, mining camp upgrades are free, markets work 80% faster, and villagers are harder to raid because they benefit from two monk upgrades that make them move faster and have more HP. Now, opposing our red Bohemian, we have mYi.Sitaux playing as the blue Ethiopians, a civilization designed to kill its opponents as fast as possible. Ethiopian foot archers are the fastest firing foot archers in the game. Their siege onagers, scorpions, rams, and bombard cannons can all be upgraded to have an even bigger blast radius, and their unique unit is the Shotel warrior, a fast, incredibly strong, but overall fragile unit that can be upgraded to train in only 4 seconds. Now, to help the Ethiopian military-industrial complex, Ethiopians receive 100 food and 100 gold for free every time they go up in age. They get the pikeman upgrade for free, which saves players not only the time and required to research it, but also about 300 resources in total. And the Ethiopian economy is much harder to raid because their towers and outposts come with a big boost to their line of sight. So while we've been discussing these civ features, both players have gone up to 15 villagers. Both players are continuing to herd their herdables, take their boars, and basically create the foundations of their economy. Let's take a look at where they're situated, see if any particular player is at an advantage or disadvantage. Sitaux's map essentially completely open. Open to the south, open to the east, and open to the west. The north, easy to wall off, but very far for his opponent to try to reach around from that angle. His opponent, mYi.Sitaux, in a very similar situation. So an incredibly open map for both players. mYi.Sitaux open to the east, open to the west, and completely open to the south. His primary gold nice and secure, though, in the back of his base. Let's take a look at Sitaux's gold. Very exposed here in the front. Would do well to take this hill. Cannot let your opponent take that high ground advantage. In this game, you do not want to lose control. Where is his primary stone? Okay, a little bit secure and safe in the back. mYi.Sitaux's primary stone exposed to the front. So I would overall give this advantage here slightly to mYi.Sitaux, just because his primary gold is nice and secure in the back. His secondary gold, though, is very far off campus. Take a look at the distance, as are his wood lines, by the way. Take a look at how far these wood lines are. Very easy for an opponent to raid. Might have to wall himself in. We'll see if Sitaux decides to make an issue of it with his scout. For now, happy to just explore the outer edges of the perimeter of his opponent's base. mYi.Sitaux exploring the back of Sitaux's base. Let's take a look at what he's actually seen. Okay, he's seen a house. He's seen the lumber camp. Citaux also equally disadvantaged here in terms of how far his lumber camp is. But like I said, overall, very, very small, slight advantage here I would give to Mr. Yo, just again because the primary gold is tucked away in the back, whereas Citaux's gold is a little bit exposed here, although he's making an effort here. We'll see if he decides to wall this off, but it could be advantageous for him. Like I said, needs to take this hill, in my opinion. Spearman coming out will shoo away the scout cavalry. And now both players are in Feudal. Let's take a look at what they're building. A barracks and archery range for our red Bohemian. A barracks and archery range for our blue Ethiopian. So, fairly standard opening here for both players. Does take a little bit of arrow fire. Does Citaux from a slightly garrison town center here. Oh, what a pretty, very pretty town center for the Ethiopians. Very nice design by the game designers. I don't mind it at all. Okay, we've got a bit of a scout skirmish here. We'll follow along and see what happens here as they chase each other around the map. Looks like blue might get one more swipe off here if red keeps changing directions. No, but red spearman shoes blue. Beautiful reaction time, by the way, for Mr. Yo. Something that really, it's always very impressive, isn't it, when you watch players? I mean, take a look at their Elos. They're almost identical. Mr. Yo at 2642, Citaux at 2624. But whenever you have players with Elos like this, the incredible reaction time, their ability to micro multiple screens at once, it's always so much fun to watch, especially as a caster. It's always just incredible to see. I mean, that reaction time, how many of us would have lost the scout or have taken at least one swipe from that spearman? But no, Mr. Yo pretends like he's going home, doubles back. Does Citaux see him? Doesn't really matter. Decides to chase Citaux again. Let's see if he notices the spearman this time. He does. Runs away. Mr. Yo being incredibly annoying with this one scout cavalry, not letting not letting Citaux fully commit to this attack because he has to go home and deal with this one scout. But Citaux coming forward with 5 skirmishers. Let's see what he can get done here. Runs into a palisade wall that's just completed. What do we got in this archery range? 4 archers, 5. I'm whispering. I'm being very quiet. I don't want to alert Citaux to the presence of these 5 archers, although now they're out. At least 4 of them. And he's going to start poking away at these villagers. But feudal age armies notoriously weak, especially skirmishers. They are not going to be able to kill any of these villagers unless Mr. Yo is incredibly stubborn and commits to completing this gate, which I don't really think he needs to. I was going to say he might just build a secondary wall off behind it. That secondary wall off now being a stable, and he is moving forward. Let's see what he can get done with these archers. They will come under fire almost immediately upon reaching Citaux's base. One of them dies, but they take an opposing archer along with them. And now we've got the scout cavalry to the northeast of Mr. Yo's base. We've got the same skirmishers roaming around. I wonder if they're trying to cut off Mr. Yo's archers. Although there's really no need. These 2 skirmishers are doing a just good enough job here. Mr. Yo's entire attack completely nullified. 0 damage done by him. And now his base is being circled by the red Bohemian shark. Let's see what he can get done. I mean, he can go into this little nook here and I guess tickle away at some of these lumberjacks. Let's see if that's what he decides to do. Yep. But has to be careful. Skirmishers very weak, especially to a scout cavalry. Will definitely lose, I think, 1 skirmisher. We'll see if he loses all more than that, or if Mr. Yo loses the scout cavalry. For now, both players sitting on almost identical villager counts. 33 for our red Bohemian, 32 for our blue Ethiopian, who continues to chase down these skirmishers, but now one decides to lay down his life so that the other 6 can shell away at the scout cavalry. They do get him, but here comes a reinforcement right hot off the trail of the one who just died. Does get the skirmisher, but will pay the price because there is now a spearman mixed in here. Remember, Bohemian spearmen do extra bonus damage. Let's take a look if that's reflected here. Where is it? 19 damage against that 1 cavalry. unit of Mr. Yo, who is continuing to circle very widely with his archer units. Let's see what he's seen of the map. Not a bad amount of map vision here. Has seen basically the entirety of his opponent's base. What has his opponent seen? About the same amount of the map, I would say. A few, you know, Swiss cheese areas here. But now he's coming forward with a pretty sizable force here. We've got, what is this, 12 army supply in one location. HP is dog shit, down about 30%. Oh, stuck on move command, but now let's see what happens here. Yeah, this is about an equally terrible fight for both players, I would say. Mr. Yo losing very expensive units, though. Archers, scout cavalry. Will he get this? Okay, he needs to separate these guys. He needs to go in 3 different directions. That's exactly what he does. Maybe don't keep running away. Okay, beautiful. Wonderful play here by Sitaux. Does manage to get the last scout cav, and now Mr. Yo's military count has been reduced to this one archer. The entire weight of the Ethiopian Empire rests upon the shoulders of this one archer, who confidently strides towards Sitau's base, but immediately upon reaching the middle of the map comes into contact with 3 counter units who shoo him away, so that 2 of the Bohemian archers can try to make their way forward. Okay, neither player here really committing, I would say, heavily into any kind of feudal aggression. Let's take a look at their bases. Let's see what they've built while they disengaged. 2 archery ranges for our Ethiopian, not a surprise. As I said, a very archer meta civilization with their fastest firing foot archers in the game. They are incredibly fast, by the way. I hope we get to see it. They're almost like machine guns. We've got the stable that he built before. And what is our Bohemian player building? He's also sitting on 2 archery ranges, pumping out skirmishers. Both players going up to castle at roughly the same time, about 15-20 seconds apart. Our red Bohemian will reach castle first. We'll see if he makes use of his gunpowder castle age advantage. Just like the Burgundians get cavalier in castle, the Bohemians get gunpowder units, or at least hand cannoneers, in castle age. And we'll see if he decides to go that route. I mean, I hope we do, because when is it ever not fun to watch gunpowder units in castle age just bomb each other and just destroy each other with the heavy amount of damage that they do. Okay, second town center plopping down for our red Bohemian. More of a wall off here. Yeah, not a bad idea to create a secondary wall off with these shittier palisade walls. They're not going to last very long as the game progresses. Not that he really needs to. He's coming forward with, again, a massive army here. We've got 9 skirmishers, 3 archers, and 2 spearmen. And let's take a look. Our blue Ethiopian already on crossbows. First knight coming out. No follow-up knights, though. So we'll see what he decides to go for. For now, he's getting economic upgrades. Our red Bohemian getting ranged upgrades. So for now, it looks like we're going to have a good old-fashioned ranged war between these 2 players. I mean, obviously, the strongest unit on the field here is the knight, but with only one of them, finally, a second one being produced here by our blue Ethiopian. Lots and lots of blue dots streaming across the map, including a villager. Okay, let's see what this villager is for. We'll see if it's for a forward... Okay, forward siege workshop. It is for Mr. Yo. But with only 1 villager, it will take some time for that to finish. University going down. Let's see again if our red Bohemian decides to play to the strengths of his civilization. For now, elite skirmishers upgraded. Both armies just kind of circling each other. And let's see what happens here. I mean, we've got the counter unit, the skirmisher to the crossbow, but never discount that Ethiopian faster firing rate. I believe it's 18% faster firing rate is just incredible. And now we've got a mangonel on the way. Okay. So Mr. Yo is going to be able to zone out these ranged units with this mangonel and these knights. But the question is, what kind of damage can he get done here? Crossbow's not exactly the building destroying units that you need in order to bust your way into your opponent's base. That being said, when your opponent's base is protected by palisades, crossbows are going to do just fine. Okay. And let's see what our red Bohemian has seen. Okay, so now he's seen the mangonel. He knows he's got to tread carefully. Immediately backs up his skirmishers, but now he's coming back. Like I said, though, has to be incredibly careful here. Beautiful split command. Gets a crossbow. Oh, these knights are charging right into a bunch of crossbows. So far, fantastic micro here by Sitaux, evading every single one of these mangonel shots, but finally does take one to the face. Even the greatest of micro eventually fails when you're microing this many units. Okay. Both parties taking good amounts of pot shots with each other. Take a look at the kill count. Sitaux at 21. Mr. Yo at 21. Right as I say that sentence, and right as I finish that sentence, both go up to 22, 24, 25. They're literally keeping a pace. This is a fantastic game so far. You love to see this kind of tit-for-tat kill count. I'm not a psycho, but, you know, you like to see a lot of kills in Age of Empires, and when they're both keeping abreast with each other, always so much fun. But now finally Sitaux takes a 5 kill count advantage, plus he gets 1 villager, so does have that. But Mr. Yo, not to be outdone, takes the high ground with his crossbows. Out comes the mangonel. Oh, I bet he wishes this was a Korean mangonel with 1 minimum range instead of the usual 3. Oh, and does get these 2 last skirmishers. Okay, so now he's going to move forward. But there's fresh recruits here from our red Bohemian, who is building his 3rd town center. Mr. Yo finished his 3rd a second ago. Beautiful location. Gets the stone, wood, lots of space for farms here. Fantastic location. Oh, tickling away at these elite skirmishers who are now down about 25 HP and have to completely run away. You cannot take on a mangonel, especially with a villager. Am I crazy? Did I see a villager? Okay, never mind. We've got a monastery going down for our blue Ethiopian. The Ark of the Covenant will be lowered into the, I guess, the chamber underneath the monastery here. There it goes. It's going to get covered up. And let's take a look again. The players have disengaged, so it's a good opportunity for us to take a look at what they're actually building. We've got a siege workshop for our red Bohemian, who is now sitting on 1 mangonel of his own, building his 1st monk. Okay, and Sitaux has carved out himself a pretty big chunk of the map, I would say. This is what, like 1/8 of the map that he's carved out for himself, and now he's starting to push back against the encroachment here by Mr. Yo. Although Mr. Yo, again, apologies to anyone on a smaller screen, but take a look at the chunk that he's carved out for himself. I mean, this is fantastic, but what the hell is he going to do if this part of the wall comes under attack, right? Similarly, what the hell is Sitaux going to do if this comes under attack? So I'm always of 2 minds when it comes to carving out big chunks of the map like that, just because, again, it looks good. And when you're playing an opponent as aggressive as Mr. Yo, or as aggressive as Sitaux is being right now, who, by the way, is housed right now, stuck at 100 population, he needs to build more supply. I see a bunch of little dots, though, so he looks like he will be. But when you're playing very aggressive players, it's always a good idea to wall yourself off. The question is, how readily can you defend that wall? How easily? How far away are your villagers? Would do well, I think, to continue this row of houses here to at least create a secondary wall off behind that. And Mr. Yo first to click up to Imperial, getting ballistics as well. So he is going to double down on the archers, building 3 more crossbows. Let's take a look at the civilian population. Mr. Yo sitting at 3 town centers, 72 villagers. Our red Bohemian also 3 town centers, but 87 villagers. So by virtue of going up later, he is able to keep producing more and more villagers. Although right as I say that, 2.5 minutes behind his opponent, he is now, or rather 2 minutes behind his opponent, he is now going up to Imperial as well. Okay. More and more mangonels coming out. Military count also basically identical. Let's take a look at what we're working with. 2 mangonels, 2 monks, and a bunch of ranged units for our red Bohemian. 2 mangonels, a monk, and a bunch of ranged units for our Ethiopian. So incredibly similar metas here for the players that they're choosing this game. Let's see if this castle does go up. Mr. Yo did manage to get his castle like this location. The only problem with this is that if he comes under attack from this location, it might be hard to fit a Treb in here to defend this castle. The question is, will this castle even go up, though? This is a lot of crossbows. But I guess the presence of the elite skirmishers and, more importantly, the mangonel will shoo this away. And so we're going to have 2 castles down at the 35-minute mark of the game. Our red Bohemian. This is exactly what I was talking about. How are you defending? Yeah, good good luck to that one villager who was trying to make her way over here to build a house. Better to do this. Exactly. Okay, so he's gonna let's see our red Bohemian's vision when he stumbles upon it. Okay, he sees it. Oh, terrible miss here by Mr. Yo. Splits up his units, does Sitaux, but oh god, takes a volley, kills 4 or 5. 9 kills on this mangonel so far, being repaired. And now we're being under, I heard the twanging of a trebuchet. Chemistry being researched for our blue Ethiopian. Chemistry being researched for our red Bohemian. Incredibly similar build orders. We'll follow those archers in the back of Mr. Yo's base, maybe with a picture-in-picture. For now, though, the action is squarely here in the center of the map. 2 trebuchets trying to gun down this one Bohemian castle. Beautiful castle, by the way. One of my favorites. Oh, loses a mangonel, unfortunately, and takes a shot. Although it looks like it kind of missed. Okay, Sitaux is missing some heavy hitting units. I mean, he's got 22 army supply, and 19 of that is in skirmishers. Not sure that's the right composition here for him, but here come the Ethiopian bombard cannons and the Bohemian bombard cannons. Excellent. These are 2 civs with fantastic siege rosters, by the way. The Ethiopian siege roster is basically perfect. I don't think it's missing anything. And with the exception of the siege ram and the siege onager, I think the Bohemians are basically in the same situation. The castle does go down, but these trebs are exposed. If he wants to attack with this bombard cannon. Okay, thumb ring going down for our blue Ethiopian, so these archers are going to be a bit more deadly. I mean, in theory, you shouldn't really lose a bombard cannon to a trebuchet, right? I mean, you can... Oh, the caster's curse, especially mine, the second I say that. But look at this, tit for tat. Blue bombard cannon dead, red bombard cannon dead. But like I said, because these guys are, they can, oh, that's very close. Because they can move so easily, in theory, you really shouldn't lose the bombard cannon to the trebuchet, especially on a 1-to-1. Oh god, I say that, and then immediately he keeps losing them. But that really shouldn't be happening. Okay. You know, he lost the castle, but at the cost of 2 trebs and a bombard cannon of blues. Not the worst trade in the world, to be honest. Resource-wise, at least. Okay, we're getting the arbalest upgrade for our blue Ethiopian. What is he constructing here? A bunch of houses, because he is supply blocked / housed at 135. Both players, I mean, I'm surprised at how similar the players are. I mean, 40 minutes in, the exact same military count. Here we go, the Hufnitze upgrade just finished. That is an incredibly expensive upgrade. But my god, we've now got 4 Hufnitzes out. Take a look at this bonus damage they do to buildings. Look at this, 250. So I don't know if this castle is going to last very long either. Oh god, but you don't want to lose them, and you don't want to walk into castle fire either. But yeah, this is going to be I expected. I shouldn't say I expected. I was hoping for a bit of a siege off. Let's say it like that. Oh god, Mr. Yo being very aggressive here to the northeast of his opponent's base. A Treb, a Mangonel, and a bunch of Arbalests. I mean, take a look at how fast they're going to fire. Look at this. Look at that. That is just ridiculous. Tell me that doesn't sound like a machine gun to your ears. Loses the Mangonel, though. And now we've got the dance of the Bombard Cannon / Haufnitzes. Okay. Neither player really landing any killing blows here. Castle back up for our red Bohemian, who is researching Wagenburg tactics. Again, that's going to make every single one of his gunpowder units move faster. I believe it's 15% faster. 10 or 15%. I want to say 15, but I have been known to be wrong in the past. 10 to 15% faster. Oh, it does take a shot to the skirmisher. But in come the Hufnitzes. He's got 5 of them. Conscription going down, so he's going to be able to create military units quicker and quicker. And now he's moving forward with these elite skirmishers. They are destroying these arbalests. Oh, Mr. Yo has to be so careful. He is trading out very poorly. A defensive castle going down. Love the location. Would have been better maybe to protect his gold, but there's not that much gold left here. How much is there? 500, 450, 350, whatever that is. Just a little over 1,000, but in come the elite skirmishers. And now he loses his castle here to these Haufnitzes. Okay, and we're back to knights for our blue Ethiopian. Okay. Hopefully, who just researched torsion engines. Okay, so this is going to be a very fun, I'm hoping, siege off, because now you have an Ethiopian player whose siege units do extra blast radius damage with torsion engines against Bohemian siege, which moves faster and hits harder because, again, it's a Haufnitze, which I believe is the root of the word howitzer, which, if you don't know what a howitzer is, Google it. It's an incredibly huge gun. I don't know how else to, how to put it more simply. Sorry, a little tongue-tied there. Sorry, guys, I've been away from casting for a bit because of this, because of COVID. And I'm a little tongue-tied here and there. Oh, he can't afford to lose these Haufnitzes, though, but does get a castle. These guys destroy castles like nothing. It's incredible how fast they can gun down structures, but what the hell is this? Sitaux. Sitaux, very aggressive here with a castle placement. He wants to cut off all reinforcements, all ability of his opponent to take the center of the map. Brilliant castle placement here. The question is, will it even go up? We've got a few Ethiopian arbalests, and in comes Sitaux from the left as he's continuing to push on the right with these villagers, but now they finally retreat. I don't know that they necessarily need to with only 2 arbalests over here, but wants to focus his micro, I guess, on this castle, wants to make sure he does not lose these Haufnitze units. Has to retreat, though. Can't keep taking bombard cannon shots to the face, especially with a wider blast radius. But now he's finally mixed in arbalests of his own. Okay, has managed to kill these 2 arbalests, so he should be free now to return to the castle, right? I mean, there's no blue units anywhere here. Okay, he's coming back, and he's coming back with reinforcements. A Haufnitze, a bunch of elite skirmishers. Sitaux systematically dismembering Mr. Yo's infrastructure here with these massive gunpowder units. Let's see how Mr. Yo can plans on responding to this. I mean, take a look at the military count. What the hell? 64 to 2? Where is Mr. Yo's military? Our blue Ethiopian does he think that he can call a Flemish revolution? I don't know what he's doing. He's got 7 military supply. He's building Shotel warriors. Take a look at how fast these guys built. This is insane, isn't it? Look at this. Look at the bottom left of your screen. Look how fast this is. Incredible. Incredible. And by the way, look how fast they move also. Another red castle here to secure the gold, but will these Shotel warriors let this castle go up? They should be able to decimate these villagers in no time. They are an incredibly powerful unit. Take a look at their base attack. 18 base attack for the elite Shotel warriors. Yeah, these villagers are going to get completely demolished. But the question is it too little, too late? I mean, we're 50 minutes into the game. Your supply is literally 1/5. Your military supply is 1/5, and now your villager supply has been decimated as well. Wow, Mr. Yo has just... there's a catastrophe level event here for him. His villager supply down 30 population, his military down 60 population. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him stay in the game much longer, especially with these castles going down left, right, and center. We'll see what these Shotel warriors can do. They are very fragile. Take a look at their HP, only 50. They should be able to get some of these Haufnitzes, though. Okay. I don't think he'll get the last one, though. There's a few Arbalests mixed in the crowd here. Oh, God. Terrible, terrible engage here for Mr. Yo, who's, again, take a look, down 30 supply of civilian-wise, down 74 military supply. Sitaux continuing to expand, building another town center. He is just enveloping the map here with his presence. And there ain't a damn thing that Mr. Yo seems to be able to do about it. I mean, he's pumping out elite skirmishers. He's got 2 bombard cannons of his own. Oh, God, you got to be careful, though. Oh, yeah, you can't take too many hits like that, or else you're going to even up that supply real nice. But not getting the juicy hits that he needs, Mr. Yo. Unfortunately, I don't know that the game is going to go on much longer here. I mean, take a look at the scores, 13,000 to 10,000. He must see that. He knows that he's in trouble. Now losing control of the gold pile here. Oh, God. I mean, he's got a bit of gold left here. What is this? 700 and... Okay, 1,200 gold. Although immediately now, our Red Bohemian knows that he needs to get control of that gold. And he needs to choke his opponent from being able to have that gold. Make sure that his opponent cannot mine it at all. Oh, no. I mean, this is a critical mass. Supply capped is Sitaux at 200. Mr. Yo at literally a third of the supply of his opponent. Yeah, I think we're going to see a GG pretty soon. Don't you? I mean, this is optimistic. Okay. Yeah, this was very optimistic by Mr. Yo to stay in the game this long. But my God, did our Bohemian juggernaut just steamroll over his opponent with these massive... I mean, take a look at this. 7 Haufnitzes. That is just almost what is that, 1750 in damage plus 350 for their base attack. That's literally 2100 damage. That's basically a building with one. They can one-shot a building. I mean, when's the last time you saw a clump of units being able to one-shot a structure in this game? I mean, that's just bonkers. Yeah, Mr. Yo, I mean, he had to tap out. Take a look at his supply. The kill counts, surprisingly even, but take a look. This is the number that really matters here. Sitaux killing 71 villagers to his opponent's 22. Although militarily, Mr. Yo has killed more of his opponent, which is very interesting. We've got Arbalests against elite skirmishers. We've got a fairly relaxed APM game here for both players. Let's take a look at economically. We'll see what happened to Mr. Yo. I mean, yeah, look at this. Down 14,000 or so resources from his opponent, although did manage to get more relic gold by virtue of having 4 relics. I guess at the end of the game, he had 3 because he lost control of a bunch of them. But yeah, sorry, let's take a look at that again. Gold count, identical. Stone count, almost identical. But food and wood, very much in favor of our Red Bohemian, who just invests in the big, powerful, heavy-hitting unit of the Bohemian Empire here, this Haufnitze, however you want to pronounce it, and just, like I said earlier, systematically, he lost the one castle here, which was scary because that was his only castle, but then he rebuilt this one, and then just piece by piece, tile by tile, with these massive siege units, just went south, then went east, and then went south again, and just dismembered Mr. Yo like a dead body, just carved up. My God, what a clinic here by Sitaux of the power of the Bohemian howitzers. This is just an incredibly fun game. Mr. Yo, not any slouch himself, by the way, with torsion engines. These bombard cannons that he had were just incredibly powerful, but I don't think he had enough of them, and I don't think he had enough supporting units. We'll do a bunch of pictures. We'll see where he lost all these villagers, but Sitaux just gets to Imperial, steamrolls his opponent, takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.